Welcome, everyone, to Baldy and The Blonde. I'm Michelle Godin. We're here every Wednesday, along with Tom Coates, from wherever he is, which is always somewhere different. This week, it's New Mexico.
It is New Mexico this week.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. And
I think next week I'm in the studio in New Orleans.
Is that right?
I think so.
All right. Kobe, you heard that? Kobe's our excellent engineer, and that's who I talk to a lot when we're on the air, because when Tom's not here, I have to play the clips, and it doesn't always go that smoothly, just saying. Anyway, it's just more love coming from the left today. I just got a post that I just sent you, Tom.
I saw it.
Yeah, I just thought I'd share it. Nothing but respect and love. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the former president, Mr. Hope and Change, he just posted something, too. Instead of calling for the left, who has been calling us fascist, the name engraved on the bullets for our people, he has not called for the left to stop doing that. Instead, he said President Trump has been at fault. That's why all those right-wing people are shooting left-wingers, right?
Yeah, it's happening all over the place.
Yeah, right, exactly. Amazing. So, yeah.
Well, and Obama doesn't believe that.
No, he doesn't believe it, but he's a communist. When he said hope and change, he meant it. Nobody asked him change from what to what. Fundamentally change America. How? Yes, he tried very hard, and but for the Orange Man, we would be just like England, overrun, because the border's been closed since the day Trump took office, basically, and we'd be overrun with illegals, which is how you change a culture. Just overwhelm the culture with people who are not, who do not share the culture's values, and history. Common goals. And speaking of common goals, I noticed that MTG copied off of me last week saying maybe we need a divorce. She called for a peaceful divorce. Did you see that?
No. But you know what? The king of that is Tom Woods.
He is.
Got a book about that.
It's probably a good time for us to just say something. If you're new to Baldy and the Blonde, which I know we have new people every week, Tom and I, although we generally come much more from the right and certainly not at all from the left, we come more from the Ron Paul libertarian part of the party, and that includes our hero, Tom Woods, who actually had a very nice thing to say about Charlie, writing him when he was 18, and Charlie Kirk gave him a lot of credit for watching his videos and learning so much from him. So I highly recommend Tom Woods to anybody who wants to learn about America.
He's the best. Well, yeah, him and Dave Smith. But I want to say this. I do not come from the right of the party or the Ron Paul part of the party. Everybody knows. I'm not a Republican. I am not part of that party.
Right.
Not part of that number.
No, I just meant that we were not of the left, but we come from the movement started by Ron Paul.
Yes.
Whatever you want to call that. Some people, he was a Republican and is a Republican, but he was a libertarian first. So when I met you, you were working for Ron Paul. For Republican president.
But no, but you did say we're in the party. We come from that part of the party.
But I am.
It's a slip of the tongue, but I'm not.
But I am.
So everybody knows.
Once upon a time, a Democrat. I was once a Democrat, and then I was a nothing, a no party, then a Republican, then a no party again, and now Republican since I think 2007, so that I could support Ron Paul.
And I know at the local level, you've done an excellent job. I've seen it with my own eyes.
I have tried. I do believe that I've had some impact locally because I am a member of an elected member of District A's Parish Republican Executive Committee. And when I first became part of that group, literally they looked at me like I was crazy when I said the government's spying on us. The Patriot Act is not patriotic. It is something that targets Americans. And now I think that is probably at least half of the party locally in the group. I don't mean the party. That's not right. At least half of the committee now is not appalled by such discussion.
Well, the rest must be completely blind because it's so obvious.
Yeah, well,
That's me talking, not you.
No, I'm fine with that. It may be more. I just don't want to overstate it. It's not.
Yeah, I get you.
But I don't get much pushback on that anymore. So
good.
Anyway, so we have
any pushback would be ridiculous.
So we have things to talk about today, more in the drumbeat from the left, and we're going to go over the timeline, which I know we talked about doing it the first segment, but maybe it might take a whole segment. So I want to set up by saying that I have never seen more vile, disgusting comments from the left than since the massacre, the public execution, that was meant to send a message to us of Charlie Kirk. How dare you speak peacefully about your position? We will misrepresent your position and we will kill you for it. And I have seen with my own eyeballs, directed at me, just horrific misrepresentations. I've also literally had exactly one friend who is of the left say something appropriate and nice. The rest of them, no. Talking about, branding Charlie Kirk a bigot or racist. And literally all I do is just send them him talking. Not my interpretation of him, but him. Because these people, they have never listened to Charlie Kirk. They've listened to the robot beast and disgusting freaks of the leftist media. That's where they get the idea of who Charlie Kirk is. And that is why there's a direct correlation between labeling half of the United States or more, because it's probably more than half of us that are still Americans, but they label at least half of us as fascist, Nazis, leftist, hateful, and
an existential threat. And what do you do with existential threats?
You got to get rid of their unalive them, as the left says.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And they literally labeled the bullets in the last two shootings by freaks of the left. In the last one, it was, what is it? Catch fascist from the Charlie Kirk shooter. And then the children killed in mass, similar exhortations on the bullet casings.
Okay, but spoiler alert, I don't believe that's the Charlie Kirk shooter. I don't.
Yeah, no, I know, and he's part of it. He thinks he's part of it. But we don't know.
A role for sure. But we will go over this is the official timeline that's put out by the police in Utah. We'll go over it next segment. But it's their timeline that they put out on the sworn affidavit. Michelle, what do you call the affidavit of
probable cause?
Probable cause,
yeah.
Right. So I downloaded the affidavit of probable cause, and in it they have a timeline.
Yep.
And we'll go through it. And when you combine the official timeline with the videos that the FBI, the videos and photos that the FBI has released, so it's all official stuff.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. It's a fairy tale on its face. It's ridiculous, and we'll show that in the next segment.
Do you want me to?
But I digress.
Do you want me to? On the commercial break, I could post it so people can follow along. Should I try to do that? I'm not sure I can because I think it's a PDF, and I don't know if I can get that on Facebook.
No, it's not a PDF. I just sent it to you in the body.
Oh, okay. I can cut and paste that into. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, audience. Pay attention.
You can do it with my narration if you want.
Yeah.
Because or my editorialization, I put some on there.
Yeah, I saw you had some notes. I think they're good. So over the break, I will cut and paste that into the Facebook post, which I think I put on my own page. Yeah, it's on Michelle Godin. And I will put the language from Tom's summary of the timeline obtained from the probable cause affidavit. And the affidavit of probable cause is available online. It has some really interesting stuff in it and some things that should make you go, oh no, Grassy Knoll all over again.
It is. It's Grassy Knoll 2.0.
So we have young people. What is the Grassy Knoll, Tom?
Well, that was the area where the real shooter of JFK was alleged to have fired from.
Yes.
And what's funny, it got its name by a woman who was a eyewitness at the time. She was right there by the motorcade, and a reporter asked her what she saw. She says, "Oh yeah, I saw somebody over there on that Grassy Knoll." She just said it on the fly, and now here we are, all these decades later, right. And it's just the Grassy Knoll because a woman said it.
And it now also, kind of refers to here we are. How many years later since 1962? 63 years, whatever.
63 years later, and they're still telling their ridiculous story. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks too crazy right now. It's too crazy. The stories that are out there are insane. I even saw one story with somebody showing a man with what he said was a phone that turns into a Derringer.
Okay, so we will go over that. We'll go over the real.
I just want to say I want one of those if it's true.
And then we'll.
It was really cool.
We will also go over some funny sounding rabbit hole things.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to wait till after the break. Baldy and The Blonde are back. I'm Tom Coates with the immutable Michelle Godin.
That's me.
So we promised to go over a timeline. I want to get right into it. A timeline of the movements of the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk. This is official, and we're going to be quoting from the affidavit of probable cause put out by the police in Utah.
Which is something that's, usually done. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. They usually do it in search warrants, but here I think they're dotting their I's and crossing their T's extra special.
They sure got things wrong.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to start quoting from it, and we'll editorialize a little bit now and then. But these quotes, and then taken in conjunction with the video and the photos released by the FBI, show that this is preposterous and a fairy tale. So it starts at 12:17. This is, again, quoting from the affidavit. At approximately 1217 hours, suspect climbed over the short wall and appeared to crouch down on the north side of the wall on the rooftop. So at 12:17, that's the first time he got onto the roof. Apparently all day, because there's no mention of it earlier, that he never got up there and scoped it out earlier.
Right.
And now, right? Okay, so now we're 5 minutes later at 12:22, quoting from the affidavit. At approximately 1222 hours, suspect stood up and started running across the rooftop of the Losi Center building. The notable limp from previous surveillance was absent. Suspect ran to the west side of the rooftop and appeared to scoot along the rooftop area as he got closer to the edge of the rooftop.
Let me just interrupt you for just one second and say that the timeline is posted on the Baldy and The Blonde radio show Facebook group.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. All right. And now we're still at 1222. So all this is happening in like a 30 to 45 seconds, probably.
Yeah.
It says that approximately 1222 hours, suspect laid down in a position consistent with a prone shooting position near the edge of the rooftop and appeared to be facing west in the direction of the courtyard area. Okay. Now we're moving on to 1223. All it says about that is at approximately 1223 hours, Charlie Kirk was shot. Now, notice how that's phrased, right?
Yeah.
In the passive voice. It doesn't say who did the shooting. It says who got shot.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Right?
That's weird.
You use the passive voice when you want to be confusing about maybe who did what.
Let me just be the devil's advocate and say, or just not a good writer. But anyway.
Okay, but
I agree.
Okay, well, okay, and that's fair enough. But it's the only time anything like that is used. Now we're still on 1223. At approximately 1223 hours, surveillance shows that the suspect stood up suddenly from the edge of the rooftop and sprinted north on the rooftop of the Losi Center building. Suspect ran to the northeast corner of the Losi Center building and approached the edge of the rooftop.
Okay, wait a minute.
End of the quote.
Wait a minute. So at 1222, he's running across the top. At 1222, he's now laying down and taking a shooting position. At 1223, he shoots, and at 1223, he runs. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know about all that.
Okay, but I gotta push back a little. And you're right. I don't know about that. I gotta push back. It never does say that he took a shot.
It just says Charlie Kirk was shot. And I totally missed that. I mean, you're right.
And it never says that this guy has a rifle. The first mention of the rifle is later. It doesn't have a time. So at 1223, 1224, and we're not quoting here. The others were all quotes. At this point, he dropped several feet onto the ground from the roof, and he ran off. He's not seen ever in the FBI's own video. It's not video they took. It's video that they reviewed and released.
Yeah, it's from the school.
Right, obviously. There's no rifle ever in that video. He's running you can see him clearly on the video running. You can see him dropping off the roof, landing on the ground and running off. There's never a rifle. The first time in the affidavit that the rifle is mentioned is when it says investigators discovered a bolt action rifle wrapped in a dark colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98, 30-06, et cetera, with a scope on it. Now, here's some of my notes and questions about the timeline.
Before you do that, I just want to clarify something. When you say there's never a rifle while he's doing all that, you mean it's not written in the report, right?
And it's not in the video.
I don't know. I feel like I saw it in the where he jumps off.
Well, you got better eyes than I do.
No.
I never
It
saw
is
it.
a really silly point. I mean, it goes along with the whole confusion. At first, you couldn't see it, the first set of videos. Then out comes Bongino and says, we have clearer videos now. And now you can see something. I don't know what's going on, but anyway.
Well,
yeah.
You can see it. I see a backpack when you see him on the roof, when you see him
Yep.
dropping, see him running. I never see it. Also, there's never.
No, I'm not saying it's
mention,
clear that it's a rifle. It's a long thing of something. Anyway.
I'll take a look, but it's never mentioned. Why is not?
Well, it should be.
Why is it not mentioned?
It's,
right.
No, you're
says,
right.
Listen,
it's not. No mention that the guy has a rifle. No mention that he took the shot.
It says he laid down in the position consistent with a prone shooting position. That's all it says, is he laid down in prone position. That's all it says. Never once. Now, here's my questions. One, there's never any mention of the suspect with a rifle.
Bizarre.
The first mention of the rifle is when it's found much later. And the most damning thing, the most damning quote is where it just says he lays down in prone position. That's all it says. Now, we have still photos of him in the stairwell with no rifle. He's not carrying it.
Yeah, everybody's seen those, you know.
Right? Exactly. And now,
no rifle.
it's either, so people say, well, maybe it was in his jeans. Really? Because there's photos, both legs are bent. In separate photos, one, the right leg is bent, the other, the left leg is bent. He's walking normally. So therefore, it's got to be disassembled and put in the backpack. Why does he have the backpack?
And you're saying that because the earlier pictures before he gets on the roof show him appearing to limp, but the explanation for that is, well, he's got the gun in his pants.
Yeah, but clearly
But
not.
now, when he's on the stairs, he doesn't have the gun in his pants because now he can bend his legs.
Right, or in his hands.
Or in his hands, yes. So it's got to
He either
be
doesn't have it or it's in the backpack.
minute 57, Tom.
What's that?
It's a minute 57.
Okay, so why does he have the backpack if the rifle's not in there? So if it's disassembled in the backpack, and that's the only place it could have been, he had to have reassembled it on the roof. But of course, that's not mentioned in the affidavit,
That's
right?
bizarre.
And all of this happens, everything we talked about up there, as you pointed out, happens in like 90 seconds. He jumps up, runs across the roof, gets down, fires, and runs, and of course, hits a bullseye. And again, so I will relook at that video, and I know that Bongino has said that they have clear video. I'll look again, but from what I've seen, I'm not entirely buying it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't understand it. It doesn't help with the issues of his legs not being bent and then being bent. It just, you know what I mean? So what? Yeah. The only thing they showed different was when he jumps off the roof, there appears to be something long that he throws down and throws over. That's it. The rest of it, I'm not saying he's running across the roof with a rifle. Nothing like that.
I see a backpack.
It could be that. I don't know.
That's all I'm seeing. And then of course, after he jumps down, he runs into the woods, wraps it in a magic towel that makes the rifle visible again, because it's been invisible this whole freaking time.
But not just that, but he walks, we see him come out of a school, stand like at the street like a good boy, looking both ways before he crosses, and he doesn't have a gun. Where is it for him to take to the woods and put in the magic towel? I don't know.
Right, he's just never seen with it.
Yeah, he's never seen. It is a mess, and if they don't come out and clarify this, we're heading to another JFK, Butler, etc. Welcome back to Baldy and the Blonde. I'm Michelle Godin here with Tom Coates. We are going over the crazy, non-believable timeline that currently exists with regard to the assassin of, or the accused assassin of, Charlie Kirk. Tom?
So during the break, I went to FBI.gov. I invited everyone to do that. It's simple. Just go to FBI.gov, and in the search bar on the top right, just put in Charlie Kirk, and then scroll down a little bit, and you'll see like video of alleged shooter, whatever. So I did that during the break, put it on full screen, and it is a little bit hard to tell. It 100% to me looks like a backpack. I should say 95% to me looks like a backpack, until you get to the end of the video, and he stops running, and he starts walking, because he encounters a few people and cars on the street. Then he walks parallel to the street where he didn't have a rifle on it. There's no way.
I know. I don't understand it.
It's not possible.
No, the only time I saw something that sort of matched what Bongino was saying was when he is on the edge of the roof and jumping off. That's it.
Right, but then you got to just keep watching.
Right. No, he doesn't have anything after that. It disappeared. It flew itself to a grassy field somewhere and wrapped itself in a towel. I mean,
you got another grassy knoll.
Yeah, exactly.
And this story is ridiculous. Any 6-year-old could see it. And they will be telling this story for just like JFK, another 6 decades.
I mean, it just doesn't. You cannot find the gun before, except for maybe in the stiff-legged walk. But then it's gone on the stairs. Then it's gone on the roof. They don't say he's the shooter on the roof. You don't see it coming off the roof, except maybe this one fuzzy shot. And then he walks from the roof to wherever he was going, crosses the street, and has no gun. So it just, yeah, doesn't make any sense. You can't see it, and he doesn't have time to be disassembling and reassembling guns. I don't get it.
Let me ask you this: what if somebody on the police force falsified an affidavit? What would happen? Tell the audience. And it was shown.
I mean, if someone did that, right? I mean, yeah, that would be. I would not even say anybody. This is just a regular.
No, my point is that's why they never said in the affidavit. This is a sworn affidavit. They never said he had a rifle. They never said he fired a shot.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
They never said it. Notice they said Charlie Kirk was shot.
Yeah, that's odd.
That's not nitpicking.
No, it isn't. It's a very evasive way to say something, and it covers your butt if you're not sure he's the shooter, right?
That's right. And if there was a rifle visible on the roof, they would have said so, and they didn't. That's because you can't say that in a sworn affidavit.
Yes, and you know what? I'm kind of, in a way, if this guy is the shooter, they're taking the prudent path, right? I mean, they are. There may be other explanations for the gun, including an accomplice, is what I'm talking about.
Yes, but this guy is the shooter. Just no way.
If
he jumps off that roof and walks toward people and traffic, and then just walks casually along.
Yeah.
Without stopping, without stopping to do anything with it. He's just moving along. He never does anything with the gun because he doesn't have a gun. So anyway, I'd like to move on to some other. Well, and let me ask you this: what do you move on to? Because we did have a list of some other rabbit holes you could go down that are actually more plausible than the story they're telling.
I mean, I have. Wait, I just got a text from a listener. Hold on. The roommates in touch with Lance's family, and one of Tyler's. Never mind. I'm not gonna. I have to verify that before I read it. But the rumors are flying. I'll say that, and that's what happens when you get these kind of, crazy stories in these high-profile cases. And this is a huge case. I mean, we have not had a political assassination in the country since 1968, when we had a rash of them. MLK, RFK Sr.
McGovern was early 70s, I think.
Oh, you're right. He was early 70s.
71, 72.
Yeah, so he was probably the last one. It's been a long time. So, unfortunately, most of them are mired in, quagmires of confusion because,
always.
RFK himself, Jr., our RFK in today's day, his father was killed by allegedly this guy named Sirhan Sirhan. Well, Kennedy doesn't believe it.
No, and MLK's family didn't believe that it was James Earl Ray.
Yeah. So usually these kind of things, unfortunately, I don't know what's going on. But I'm sorry to say, because you would think that at least there's a chance that we might have some honesty up at the top since James Comey is gone, right? But I'm sure that the agency is a disaster, and I have nothing bad or good to say about the Utah State Police and local police. I just don't know.
All right, let me interject this, and I don't remember if we said this on the air last week. I know we said it to each other privately.
Yeah.
That as soon as we learned he was shot, we knew within a half a minute that the story was going to be nonsense.
Yeah,
because
it always is.
Always nonsense.
And now you have people analyzing the videos, and honestly, some of them are pretty compelling arguments that the bullet hit, that what we see, that I cannot believe that poor family has to live with that video, but that video exists because they wanted it to. Whoever did this wanted this to happen.
Well, there was a lot of people with their phones. So.
Anyway, somebody said that what we saw, the blood coming from, is an exit wound, not the entrance wound.
And it does make sense. It's totally plausible. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I will say this. There's videos that they look totally plausible. There was a shooter a few feet away in front and to the left. And there's
Yeah.
another one that's plausible. It looks like a guy on the right. And then there's another one that's, again, plausible, that it's like 70 yards away behind him to the left. It's insane what things can be made to look. And I don't mean anybody created it to look like it. It's just
No.
naturally occurring things can be misinterpreted. But that's why I look at the official stuff, not things that people are guessing at. And the official stuff stinks. It doesn't add up.
Well, but
at
you
all.
know what? You raised a point that makes me think maybe it doesn't stink as much as we think, because they don't say he's the shooter.
No, they don't.
Not the police. Now, if there's been an indictment filed today, I don't know about it, but we'll see how they handle that. I know that, the way to get to the bottom of this is that they would cast the net far and wide and track down every lead. They said they had 10,000 leads. Track them down. And for once in the history of massively public shootings, let's have a real resolution, And the way to do it is not to put out lies, and really looking at it with your timeline and your take on the failure to name him as a shooter, which I missed. I missed it. They don't say he's the shooter. Well, good, because I don't want them to box themselves in as the investigation continues. So
That's a good point.
maybe it's a good, you know what I mean? Maybe this isn't sloppy. Maybe it's not ridiculous. Maybe this is the first time in history that we're going to have an open, honest investigation.
Well, okay.
I don't know.
I'm not saying it's sloppy. I'm saying that everything they did was intentional. They intentionally worded it that way.
Well, maybe so.
They intentionally left out stating that on the roof he's seen with a rifle. They don't dare say that if it's not true. It's a sworn affidavit. And then the video itself, it's so plain, it's so easy to see. Again, it's FBI.gov. Anybody can go see it. He jumps off the roof. There's no rifle, and he walks. After he's done running, he kind of jogs, and he just starts walking, and he's walking among people and cars, and no freaking rifle.
Well, okay, but like you said.
So who shot him?
I don't know. Maybe that's what they're working on.
And they're not. They're working on their cover-up. That's why Bongino said, "Oh, we got sharper images with a rifle." No, you don't.
You know what, Tom? I'm not sure now that I'm thinking of it in a different way based on what you've made me think about. I'm not sure he said a rifle. He just said a whole bunch of gobbledygook.
Okay.
I mean, really, I saw him on, I can't remember if it was Megan. Yeah, it was Megyn Kelly. And he answered the question in such a circuitous manner. I mean, he was talking in circles, and he went on and on about grainy images. And he never came out real clearly and said, but in the new pictures, you'll see the rifle. He really didn't, now that I think about it. So
I have another thing to
maybe it's a setup for.
I think.
What if they're actually looking into the whole thing for once?
Maybe. I hope. But you know what? I came across something that I haven't seen anybody mention on the internet, because the first photos out there were grainy, and people were busting their chops about, why are you releasing so few images and they're all grainy? Then they came out with something sharper of the guy in the stairwell. Well, all you have to do is look at it for a couple of seconds with a critical eye. Guess what? And I'm sorry if it sounds crazy, but anybody can see it. Just look at it. It's a totally different shirt. 100% guaranteed different shirt. Well, it looks similar, but it's not the same shirt. So either they thought, well, we don't have any good photos and we look stupid. The most innocent explanation is, we'll try to recreate it, which is retarded. And yes, I'm using that word. No, they wouldn't do that. No. But that means there's another guy out there dressed very similar. It's a different shirt.
And didn't he say, I mean, the alleged shooter says, there was a guy dressed similar to me.
Well, this guy's almost identical. It's
he said that.
It's the same hat, but a different hat. It's a very similar shirt, but different.
It's weird.
It's a different backpack.
It's very weird.
All that is plain. And it's really hard to find that the photo online anymore.
Yeah.
I found it at Times of India and some website out of Singapore. But other than that, the domestic websites, I haven't found it. If I use the Wayback Machine, I might find it.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of a lot of confusion right now. And then don't even start me on the plane that disappeared and went off a
Well,
radar for
right.
45 seconds. I mean, 45 minutes. And
Yes.
now
It
there's
turned off the
information about,
radar, transponder, whatever, illegally.
and now there's information about who owns it. And let's just say it's very, very interesting. And we can talk about that when we come back because we are 30 seconds from a
Well,
break.
let me
But
say this. We know we sound crazy, but I know what my eyes tell me, and my eyes aren't crazy. I know what I see. I just know what I sound like. Sorry, but
well,
just open your own eyes and you
but
can
you're
see it.
right though, Tom. If you read the affidavit of probable cause, they are not locking into the position that he's the shooter.
Or even had a rifle.
That's right. So
They never say it.
I think that might be. I'm going to say that to me, that's a hopeful sign. I really like it, and I hope I'm right.
They all worked up and insane sounding Tom Coates and Michelle Godin are back as the team of Baldy and The Blonde.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, you calmed down during the break. I haven't.
Oh yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
No.
has been
No.
fun.
It's
Okay,
just crazy. I
but
mean,
all this stuff.
yeah.
Wait, this reminds me. Speaking of all this crazy stuff and Dan Bongino and FBI.gov, all
Yep.
of which we've been talking about, you got
Yep.
to do me a favor as you sit there. You're at the computer, right?
Yep.
For the listeners, I'm not. I'm remote today. So, Michelle, go to, and any listener can do this, go to FBI.gov.
I'm there.
And, okay, right there on the homepage.
I was
Just
there
scroll
from
down to the
before.
bottom.
Yeah. I
Okay,
see.
scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see a photo of Dan Bongino. He is second in command. He's deputy director.
Yep.
Do you see that?
I do.
Now,
Poor guy.
do you remember the stories of the Vietnam prisoners of war? They're being recorded in their propaganda videos by their captors, and they communicated what they really wanted to say by blinking their eyes in Morse code, right? And now
Well,
today, there's hand signals that people who are being trafficked can
Yeah.
give to people who are walking
Right.
by. So, okay, so what if you had to communicate that everything was wrong, but you had only a still photo to do it with? That's what Bongino looks like.
That's what he looks like. Help!
Am I
Get
right?
me out of here. Well, the rumor is he's
a
leaving.
hostage.
Yeah, the rumor is he's leaving in 2 weeks. So we'll see
Well, I
if that's
wouldn't doubt
true.
it.
But
Just look at that photo. I'm not
I know,
kidding.
man. I know. Look.
There's Cash Patel looking all happy, a regular
Yeah,
photo.
looking
There's Dan
happy.
Bongino looking like he's about to have his head lopped off. I'm not kidding.
Right? Look, let's talk a little bit about some of the what ifs and what abouts and both as and all that stuff coming from the left. Just a few of
Go
them,
ahead,
but
what's
we
going
hear it
on?
all the time. What about Senator Hortman of Minnesota? She was killed along with some other politicians. Oh God!
Okay,
To which
here's-
I say, any of y'all know the name of your current state senator? Because that's what they're saying is the equivalent. If my
Yeah, right.
state senator was killed, should the whole country know about it? I don't think so.
No, and not only that,
not only that, but nobody on the right celebrates murder of people.
That's right. That's
Much
the
less
key. Nobody's
murder of a
celebrating it.
and then the other thing. Well, he's a racist. Well, he's a this. He's a that. All I can say is, if you are on that side, please go look at the words coming out of his mouth, which are
You will never
readily
find one
available,
racist on that.
and quit being such a stooge of the morons who are ginning you up with lies, because it's not true. I'm not saying you're always going to agree with what he said, but he debates people respectfully, and I have not seen him say anything anti-gay, anti-black, the opposite. So
Never.
it's ridiculous, okay? And it's because they want a civil war in this country. And he, of all people, is the one that would say, when we stop talking to each other, that's when you have violence and it leads to civil war. And
Well, let me-
he's right. He's right.
Let me
Because
say
you
this.
cannot stand on our necks of the conservative people in this country for 10 years. 10 years of a constant drumbeat of vicious lies, and not expect some of your crazy lefty followers to come to action to save the world from us fascist, or whatever you calling us today. Yes, Tom.
Well, there's extremists on the left, extremists on the right that will say very ignorantly things like, bring it on. I'm ready for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
No, you're not.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody, nobody wants this. You might
Nobody wants a civil
have
war.
that bravado and say it. There is no way. But you know what? We're on a hair trigger right now because
Yes, we are.
you know how easy it would be whether someone, whatever their intentions are, whether it's real or a false flag,
Well,
were to do something similar to a high-profile left politician.
yes. And you can expect. Listen,
Well, we know what the left does when they're upset. The cities burn.
yes. So I would
People
not
die.
be. I mean, Alex Jones has been saying for months, expect a left wing false flag attack on an immigration march, or historically black college, something like that, and for it to be blamed on the right to just set the country ablaze. And I
And
wouldn't
you know
doubt. I
how,
don't put anything past them, and
no,
I don't care what
we
anybody
agree.
says. The left is violent. The right is not. The left burns cities. We have candlelight prayer vigils. Sorry, we're not the same.
No, we're not. And as you said, the right doesn't cheer. And nobody
Ever.
ever said that no leftist politician has been harmed.
No.
That's not a thing. That's not a claim anybody's ever made. The difference is when was the last time a high profile leftist personality or politician, because remember Charlie Kirk, he wasn't a politician,
No.
but he had a lot of influence. That doesn't happen from the right to the left, but it sure happens from the left to the right, as we just saw tragically.
Yep.
And we saw thousands of people cheering, and then they're appalled when their opinions get them fired, but they don't care when Charlie Kirk's opinion got him killed.
Well, they don't care at all, because I don't know what else to say about them except that they're evil. I mean, they just are. I hope that they get better. I hope they do something to save themselves from the fires of hell. But dude, come on.
Well,
You cannot be these people, all thousands, tens of thousands of posts of people
insane.
with insane eyes, pointed teeth, like that woman wearing a Satan shirt at the North Carolina little monument that the kids had made for Charlie, and then this other girl comes along and she starts pouring blue paint over their work, and now they've turned it into a Black Lives Matter monument. I just, and our people literally stood there, and I'm like looking at it, going, "Do something."
Yeah, but
I mean, I'd probably get arrested. I'm an old goat,
We restrain ourselves.
I would have to trip them or do something. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
I want to correct something I said.
Yeah.
When I said Charlie got shot for his opinion, he didn't. He got shot because he was influential.
Yes, he was
That's
changing
why. Because
minds.
a lot of people hold his opinions, or even a lot harsher opinions than his. He was actually pretty moderate as things go.
Yes, he was, but he was effective because he would literally say to kids, "Change my mind," and they would, prove me wrong. That's what he said. And you can go watch, I mean, thousands of hours, really. The man was out there all the time talking to young people, and he was extremely smart, and he could back up his argument. And he just did the Socratic method. Why do you think that? Well, what about this? And
Always respectful.
Very respectful. And because of that, he made people feel worthy, and, also encouraged them to lead a better life, and that they could have a better life, and how they could do it. And, just honestly, people loved him because of that, even if they didn't agree with him. But the people that are frothing at the mouth and blood dripping out of their ears and nose and calling for more bloodshed and more assassinations, they could not have looked at him. They are mouthing the words they've heard from Jimmy Kimmel, from President Biden, from Schiff, Nancy, all those creeps, and that's who, and mostly the news, so-called legacy news. But I don't even think the kids listen to that. It just somehow filters into, their influencers and the universities, and that's why he went there.
Now,
and he radically changed the vote and the political persuasion of young people, and that's why he's been killed.
Around.
And he started questioning Israel. That's a whole nother story, which we may talk about next week because we have 30 seconds left.
And that's a thing. He very recently really soured on the U.S.-Israel relationship.
Yes.
Not the Israel relationship with the Jewish people, but with the government of Israel.
Government, yes. And
he
because
went
of that,
on about it.
And, he also, we found out that he was targeted by the U.S. government under Biden for political investigation, and he was very upset about that. But anyway, this is Baldy and the Blonde. It's been great being with y'all. See you next week. BaldyandTheBlonde.com.